right, sister. So I just want to share with you another woman worth knowing. It's been a series that I've been doing because God just put on my heart to share these amazing women that I get to do life with and just get to know better. And I just want to share a little bit about who she is. This is Talancia P, which I think is super cute. She's a multi-passionate woman of God whose scope of interest includes community outreach, wellness, and writing. She believes in championing for the disadvantaged and underrepresented in roles as committee member and volunteer at several different nonprofit organizations. She is a certified yoga instructor, and she teaches and practices yoga as a tool to improve her health. And back in 2019, she began her business, her ministry, Everyone Moves, it's the number one, to create more representation, inclusion within the yoga community, which is so needed. He has hosted classes for yogis from 5 to 85 throughout the Brevard County in Central Florida. She has experienced firsthand on how lack of knowledge and support can rob individuals of opportunities to achieve their greatest God-ordained purpose. And she empowers women to be proactive as protecting their gifts of health. So in turn, they have the freedom of mind, body, and spirit to pursue all that God has intended for them. I want to share with you my friend, P, and we're just going to have a conversation like we had for all of these. We don't know where God's leading this. I do have a few questions, but we're just going to pretty much just chit chat so you guys can stay for the conversation here. I just want to share that T is an amazing writer, and through her writing, she gives a
Thank you.
voice and experiences for women that face as they navigate their many roles of leaders, teachers, wives, mothers, sisters, daughters, and friends, which I'm sure out of one of them, we all can relate to one. And her glory in all of us is only we receive the knowledge, support, and grace to grasp it. I have been privileged to read some of her writings for an organization that we're mutually affiliated with, is Revelation Wellness. And every time she's an amazing writer, really
Thank
anointed. It's
you.
always gifted. It's always great to see her face in a place that's not really represented by women of color. So,
Thank
my
you.
friend T, I just want to ask you, I guess, for my first question is, can you tell us a little bit about your journey and how you discovered this passion for yoga, generational health, championing women in all sectors? Just tell us a little bit about who you are.
Hi, everyone. Thank you for having me, Dee. This is such an honor to be able to share with your community. I come from a long line of strong women, and not strong as in exhausted, but strong as in they have relied on God to give them strength. They have overcome many challenges, and still they are able to take care of themselves as well as their family. And I want to exude that same strength that I get from God, not within myself because I'm weak. I need God to give me strength. And I have learned that being able to see my mother and my grandmother and my sister to be able to rely on God to give them strength. And they have been able to champion other women in their community. And I wanted to do the same here in Brevard County for the women here that I may impact. We all have an influence of, we all have a circle of influence. And I want it to be a positive. I want it to be a light in my community through yoga, through wellness, and through my writing.
And you serve in so many different capacities. You are definitely a light and you're doing amazing things. One of the things that you serve is as a Christian health coach and an advocate. And how do you handle some of the misconceptions or potential misconceptions or criticism when we integrate faith and health?
Yes, I have been presented with several questions. People want to know if I am a Christian or if I'm Buddhist or if I am of Indian descent. And I've had to let them know that I'm Christian and also just be able to relate. There's so many ways and scriptures in the Bible that we've learned of how God has used breath and God have used us being grounded and us being centered to be able to grow. And so when we abide in Him, we grow. And what I love about yoga is like there's no set God. Like we get to define who God is to us. And when I'm on the mat, my heart posture is always to Christ. Who is He in my life? That's who I'm praying to. That's who I am able to come undone, to just let go of any thoughts or stresses or challenges, to be able to just lie it down at the feet of Jesus and at the cross. to tell him that I can't do this by myself, but I'm resting in you.
Yeah, I'm completely there with you. When I first started practicing yoga was about 4 years ago. And I'm very open and I am who I am on social media and in real life.
Yes.
It is who I am. And I would share on social media and I didn't think anything of it because my heart
Mm-hmm.
posture was worshiping the Lord.
Mm-hmm.
Like at the end, when some may say namaste, I say shalom. Like I just really was getting into my body for the first time ever versus like when you're lifting weights, you are mindful in your movement. Well, you should be. Not everybody is. Some people just
True.
hurl them
True.
up. But I feel
Mm-hmm.
like when I'm on the mat, my presence is there, only there.
Right.
It's not to where the next exercise is. It's not to next rep. It's where that
Mm-hmm.
exact posture is in that moment. And it made me really be able to, I feel like, honor and worship the Lord in a different way than I do in any other form. So I would share it
Absolutely.
on social media, and then people would be like, "You're a Christian yogi," like, and I didn't even know that was a bad thing. I was not that it is a bad thing. Let's say one thing. I didn't even know
Exactly.
some people perceive it as a bad thing, and I
They
never
do.
realized that perception of it. And then back in March, I finished my 200-hour yoga certification,
Okay. Awesome.
and then the floodgates of legalism. I'm just going to call it what it is. Legalism came out and
Yes.
I was just thrown back because like I said, my heart posture was to worship and honor the Lord. And that's always
Exactly.
where it's been.
Mhm.
Never even thought anything of it. Even in yoga training, when we're learning of other Hindu gods and those things, I wasn't
Yes.
worshiping those gods. I wasn't chanting those gods. I was just learning
Absolutely.
about somebody else's culture and religion. Like that's how I took
Exactly.
it. And people, I just never thought of it as any other way until I got certified and I was sharing. And there's some Christians that get really offended by yoga, and it's really sad, I
They
feel.
do. They do. And I don't think people understand that you can, you don't have, I feel like you can choose your heart posture towards something. We're not going to all agree with everything. Like, for instance, like I tell people, like when I'm on the mat, like my heart is for God. So you have to know who is your heart for and like what and how he feels you and what is your defined, posture. Who is your like light? Who is your like your God, because you know who your God is. I mean, people worship a lot of small gods and idols without realizing that they're also worshiping those things. But when we're in yoga, we're giving Christ our body, our mind, our souls, and we're saying that we are his. I find that yoga is a tool. It's a tool to improve my mental health, my physical health, my emotional health. When I'm having a really stressful day, I'll tell my husband, I just need a few minutes on the mat. And he respects that. He honors that. And I'm a better wife because of it. I'm a better mother because of it. And I want to give that tool to other women. I've also had clients come back and say, like, the breathing techniques I learned in yoga has helped me to be a better mother. It has helped me to be able to just breathe when I'm at work. I don't feel overwhelmed because I know how to be in my body and breathe.
You are so right. So when I learned about pranayama, which is breathing techniques in yoga,
Yeah.
that's the first gift. In Genesis 7, he gave us the breath of life through our nostrils. That is how we worship the Lord with every breath. And
Mm-hmm.
that's the last breath. Like when we die, it's our last breath. It's mentioned every time someone of notoriety in the Bible dies, it says he took his last breath. And
Wow.
so for them to equate that to anything other than God is, for me, it's heartbreaking because it's like I said, legalism. And the Bible does not say anything about yoga. I've looked just so that I could
Of course
have
you have.
yoga.
Yes.
But it does say about legalism, and it does say
Mhm.
about Pharisees, and it does say about
Absolutely.
people judging others. And so
Absolutely.
I always, when I do get those DMs, and I don't feel like they're coming from a heart posture of wanting to lead me to a standard of righteousness. I really feel like it's coming from a heart posture of wanting to be like, oh, Dee's doing something wrong. Let me call her out, which
Yeah.
is a different heart posture in itself. And that's legalisms. That's where the Pharisees we're following all the rules and making sure, well, Jesus was operating on the Sabbath. Let's condemn him. And Jesus didn't come to condemn. Like, that's not why he came. And so,
Exactly.
yeah, our desire is to walk every day like the image of Jesus. And so if you are walking in that heart posture, if you want to tear somebody down because of some way they're practicing versus you want to lead them to a standard of righteousness, then that is something that you need to take not to your mat. I won't say that. That's not nice. Take that to your prayer time.
Uh-huh, uh-huh.
That's your heart posture. And so I really had to, and that's why I went to the word to say, okay, if yoga is bad, if there's something in the word that says it's bad, then I need to know this. And that's how I live my life. I love that the Lord has gifted people with preaching and leadership and teaching to help us walk our faith. But ultimately, if it doesn't say it in the Bible, I'm not submitting to it. And so,
Absolutely.
for those who might be like, okay, Dee's on a yoga trip, like what's going on? It's not, show me where it says in the Bible that we can't do yoga. Now, it does say in the Bible that those more mature in Christianity, if you're leading someone to something that is not of faith, then that's a problem. And so that's where I do find a little bit, I can understand people saying, okay, you might be more mature in your faith, so you're able to do yoga without worshiping God. But if someone was to go to any yoga class from an instructor that might not be a believer because they saw you on social media doing yoga, they might be led astray. Then yes, I understand that being a problem. But again, that's why we are called to go to our word. We're called to know
Absolutely.
what God says about these things.
Mhm.
So, um, I just wanted
I
to
just want to circle back to your point about how the Pharisees were quick to judge Jesus for performing a miracle on Sundays rather than celebrating the miracle that the person was set free, rather than acknowledging the fact that the blind could see and the lame could walk. Instead of celebrating that, they were more upset that he wasn't following the rules.
Yeah.
And I feel like a lot of times we just missed the trees because what the saying is like like you're so focused on the forest you miss the trees, and
Yeah.
people are people can see like the needle in my eye, but they
Yeah.
can't see like the tree in theirs or something.
Yes.
And I just feel like sometimes we're so quick to judge. And I mean, I've seen so many mothers like come in hurting and just and also women too, they're not mothers, just come in hurting and they need that time of rest. They need that moment to be able to unpack all the stressors that they can carry as mothers, as wives, as sisters, friends. We carry a lot of our burdens with our sisters in Christ. So therefore, it can get heavy. And for that time when we're in yoga, that's a moment that we can unpack, we can let it go. I tell in my class, I share the world can wait for you to rest for 1 hour. Like while you rest, the world can wait.
Yes.
And I have some women they have anxiety about turning their phones on silent for 1 hour. And I
Yeah.
have to reassure them that everything's going to be okay. Like all you have is all you need. All you need is all you have. So if you can take that time for yourself and pour into you, then you can better pour into others.
Absolutely. And there's so much power in breath. Ever since my yoga training, I've actually been studying breath work. There's over 200, maybe 2000 ways to breathe. And that just shows the gift that God gave us in our breath and how, just like most things, the enemy he makes the best things. I feel like he takes the best things that we get and he taints them and makes them for the world. Like we got food, right? And then, sin. And then now we can't have food in abundance like we like, or like sex. That's another thing made for God's design, but of course the enemy took that too and tainted it. And breath, our first gift from God, and that can even be tainted because of people's perspective and reflection. And it's so powerful, it's so healing, and it's a tool that you can use anytime you're in a stressful. And I know, like, I remember being a mom of littles. Sometimes you just need to breathe. Just take a moment
Absolutely.
to take a breath. And then even if you
Yes.
weren't a mom, I remember being a college student stressed out about work or schoolwork. I needed to learn how to breathe. And that has been so powerful for me. Learning how to breathe, learning about my body, learning to be present in my body, stretching my body has helped me, especially being over 40 now. and just moving functionally on a daily basis. And so taking something that could be good for us and just twisting it and miscuing it is sad, like
And
you said.
and
The
it's
same with
also
food.
just like people think that yoga can only be practiced by a certain demographic of people.
Yes.
And if you're not a certain demographic, you don't look a certain way, then you can't practice yoga. And in my classes of Everyone Moves, I share that if you have a breath and you have body, you can practice yoga. So I have taught seniors where they have to sit in the chairs and practice. I have taught children where they're learning to be mindful of their bodies and learning to sit still. So no matter where you are on the spectrum of age or ability, you can practice yoga and you can begin to heal yourselves because it's a tool that we can use to better ourselves.
Amen. Now we could talk about yoga probably for hours, but
Yes.
you do so much more than just yoga. That's just like I feel like a small portion of all that you do to impact. Um, so in what ways do you promote generational health? And what are some practical tips that you can give to provide people, women, I guess women's pretty much who I speak to, that
Mhm.
are seeking to lead healthier lifestyles and their families?
Yes, probably like a lot of the women you'll see, like in your community, I've seen in my community, we've known family members who have not taken care of themselves well. So they have had to live and learn to manage and navigate chronic illnesses. And these chronic illnesses, they hinder them from living their full expression, live them for doing all the things they want to do. But they've had to learn to navigate it. I've had several family members die really early in age in life because they didn't have the knowledge and the support they needed to live a healthy life. So I wanted to be that generational chain breaker. I wanted to be that woman that said, you know, just like scripture says, I will live and not die, and I will proclaim the word of the Lord and his good works in my life. So I wanted to be that woman, and I wanted to be able to just to teach my kids that there is a better way, that food is medicine. Food can heal you, but food can also hurt you. Just like you were just saying, Dee, um, like food is something so basic, it's a necessity, but it can be warped into a bad thing, or it could be used for good. So I've been able to just be consistent and be able to teach my children that our health is our legacy. This is our wealth. Whenever you're healthy, you can pursue wealth. You can play football, you can do your art, you can do gymnastics when you're healthy. But it begins with having that time to take care of your temple, to steward it well. And I just want to be able to tell women that give yourself grace to start small, one change at a time. And with that compound effect, it then leads to a lifetime of health and wellness.
You sisters, this is why she's here, because she's preaching what I preach all the time, and it's so true. I've been in neglect mode, and I've been in the place where I use food as a
Mhm.
drug, and I've been in the place now where I use food to nourish my body and fuel my soul. And so it's very powerful as well as how you move.
Absolutely.
Um, so you're
I've had time.
Go ahead.
I was just gonna let you just say and just encourage moms of littles. Like I know what it is to burn a candlestick on both ends, to have to stay up all night and have a sick baby, or you have to also work the next day. I understand what that's like too. So by any means, I'm not saying that it's perfect, but if you can make one small change, that would add up to your health and your longevity.
Something I say all the time is grace over guilt, always. You
I
have to
love
give yourself
that.
grace because if you operate out of a place of guilt, then you're going to
Mhm.
make a bad decision. Like you're
I
going to
love that.
make the next bad. But if you give yourself grace, it gives you an opportunity to start fresh and new. And like the little small progressions get you where you're starting. Like I started making very small progressions, just trying to be better than I was the day before.
I love
And
that.
it took me a while, but eventually you get there. And I feel like in this microwave society where you want to just put it in the microwave 30 seconds later, you're
She's
boom,
preaching.
transformed. That's not how it works. And God gave us a lifetime, which is only a mist, honestly. Our
Wow.
life is a microwave according to God's eyes, right? But it's still not long enough. And we should be every single day, just trying to improve and be better than we were the day before.
Yes, yes, just improve. And I think sometimes people just don't give themselves enough credit. They don't give themselves enough grace and also celebrate themselves. Like you are showing up, you are doing it well, like you are making a difference. You do matter, you know, and I think people don't realize that and celebrate themselves enough.
Yes, yes. So you are a strong advocate for women. How do you
I am.
empower and support them in the different areas that you show up?
Well, through my nonprofit work, like I serve to help families to be able to afford Christmas gifts. And that starts like months and months in advance. We start with the Gifts from the Heart Christmas shop, and we be able to start collecting toys and funds to be able to buy gifts so that when parents come and shop, they can get them at discounted rates. I help a nonprofit organization like for homeless mothers with children just to get that second chance. I believe in compassion. I hate injustice. I'm an Enneagram 8 if that helps. And I believe in rooting for the underdog. I mean, I am a first generation college student who had to like find a way. And I've learned that whenever like our why is great enough, we can overcome any how, you
Absolutely.
know? So
Absolutely.
I've learned that firsthand. So I want to be able to equip other women in every area that I can. Obviously, I'm one person, but in every area that I can, I want to give them those tools and empower them that they can do it. You know, you can change your life.
And that's my prayer every day. I pray, Lord, just help me give others what you have given me. And that is like what I pray every day.
So
And
good.
however he does that, whatever he uses me for, I'm just grateful to be used and served. Um,
Amen.
so T has her sweet peas, which are they are so darling. But balancing motherhood, marriage, personal growth can be challenging. How do you help women find the right balance and navigate through the different roles with grace and confidence like you do so well?
I've I've learned to just stay present where I am. So wherever I am, I stay present in that role. So, and it's not always easy because I'm not, you know, but whenever like I'm having dinner with my family, I don't check my phone. Or whenever like I'm having like my morning devotional, you know, I try not to mix multiple things at once. So that helps me stay more present in that particular moment and just trying to be more intentional with my time.
Time is so precious, and that's the one thing you'll never get back. Like, you will never get back the time. My girls, I have a 19, 15, and 9-year-old.
Wow.
Yeah, my 19-year-old is like under wraps because I'm just not cool enough. I'm just not
I
cool enough to
love,
be taking a
oh
picture with.
wow.
But I just remember being a mom of littles, and all the other older moms, more seasoned mom, not older, would be like, oh, the days are long and the years are quick. It's true. It's so true because I just remember them like being little and all the cute little things they do. And now
I
they're
know.
big and they have big problems, and it just went by in a blink. It really, truly did. And
But
so
this mom gave me the best advice when I had my first two children 18 months apart. She said it does not get easier, it gets different.
yes, it doesn't.
And that changed my perspective on parenting. Like it's gonna always be a different challenge to overcome. It's gonna always be you know, like a new season. Like right now, like my son's going into middle school. Do you get him a cell phone or not? You know, can he navigate the cell phone internet world? You know, so it's not, you know, so like I'm no longer waking up at night with him to nurse, but now he wants a phone. So
Yeah.
it's just how do you balance that? And I think it's just we have to give ourselves grace to know that we're doing this for the first time too.
It doesn't get easier. It definitely gets different every single season. It does. And that was great advice that you were given because that's absolutely so true. And I think when you have that expectation that it's going to change versus it's going to get easier, like, oh, as soon as they sleep through the night, it's going to get easier.
Mm-hmm.
As soon as they can make their own cereal, it's going to get easier. As soon as they can drive a car, it's going to get easier. No, it's just going to get different. And that's just great to set
And
you
I
as for your expectations.
absolutely. And I mean, for me, it helps to have a supportive husband. It helps to have a supportive community or, you know, help. So I know as women, like we are so accustomed to white knuckling at things and holding on super tight. But if we could learn to be able to embrace help and be able to ask for help when we need it, and to be able to take our cape off, because we try to be super women. If we could take our cape off, we could lie down for a bit and we can ask for the help. I think that would make it so much of a difference in our overall wellness.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So, you covered a lot of the questions that I was going to ask, which is great. I don't, and like this has been such a good conversation, but I just want you to share, what are some upcoming events or projects within your ministry that you're doing with women and people in general that you're looking forward to? You talked about the
Um,
Christmas project.
yes, Christmas project. This I'm thinking about what I have upcoming. Like I know, like, but this summer I had a privilege of just walking alongside of a ministry that's for women and especially pregnant women, and that was amazing. Like just to be able to support a ministry that's making a difference in women who are pregnant and they're scared and they don't have resources. So it was been a huge blessing to walk on side of like the Agape Pregnancy Center and be able to support the Agape Pregnancy Center like here and be able to like give them the support from my church to be able to support them. I have been a mentor this summer, so that was pretty amazing. So I don't know. So at this time, I don't have projects coming up for the fall, but I do want to focus on my writing more. I've been learning like just more tools I can use in content creation. So that's what I want to grow in the fall. And I really hope to be able to like educate and equip more women with the tools they need to be able to grow.
Love it, love it. And so, where can my community reach out, connect with you, wherever, whether it be website, social media, however you want them to connect with you?
I am over on Instagram and Facebook. Everyone moves. That's everyone, the number one moves on Instagram and Facebook. You can email me at everyonemoves at gmail.com. And I just hope that women learn they can come home to their bodies. They can feel free in their bodies. And my goal in my classes is to be inclusive. So no matter your ability, I want you to always know that you belong in this space and that you are welcomed here. I haven't always felt welcome. So I have been able to champion that through my classes to make sure that everyone feels welcome. If you need a chair in yoga or if you need extra blocks, I want to be able to champion women of all abilities.
Are you just teaching yoga right now? Because I know you do drumsticks, you do other modalities of fitness.
I was more focused on like group classes and drum and like group before, but now I'm just solely focused on yoga. That's where I am in my life, and I and I am a huge believer in that I can teach something once I've learned it,
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
and I've experienced firsthand, the power of yoga, and so I want to teach that to other women because I know, I know it works. It's like, we know who Jesus is, we know how good he is, so we want to share that with other people. And so I want to be able to just be able to walk with them in their journey to wellness.
I love that because me, I'm like, I'm doing the boot camp, I'm doing the yoga, I'm doing the bar and everything like that. And the Lord has really been putting me into this yoga space and giving me more opportunities because it's underrepresented. I think it's 1% of women of color are
Is
yoga
it
instructors.
1%?
1%. 1%.
1%. You know what's funny is that I've had someone tell me that you can't do yoga because you are a Black woman. I was like, what?
Yeah.
I was shocked by it, but
Out of the
then I had to just,
registered yoga
yeah.
instructors,
And that's not
1%.
true. That's
And
not
that's of
true.
color. That doesn't even mean Black women. That can be
Right, right, right.
Latino. So only 1%. It's so underrepresented.
But I just know sometimes that we put ourselves in a box says
Mhm.
that this is for me or this is not for me. I have went to many yoga spaces where I was the only woman of color,
Yep.
and I had to just make space for myself, and I became certified to say, I'm going to create my own space so that whenever a person comes to my classes, they could feel welcomed here.
I can honestly say I have yet to be in a yoga class, me as an attendee, and not be the only one.
Really?
Yeah, I have yet to have
Oh,
someone who looks like me in the class with me. And as a yoga instructor, I've only been a yoga instructor since March. It's now July, because this will go forever. But so that's so come on, D, math, 4 months. Um, yeah, I don't think I've taught anyone of color as of yet.
really? I see. I have taught, because I would say that I'm privileged to have like a private platform in my house. And I open up my house to people and we have a platform, and people come over and they're always shocked that it's me. Even after they've seen my Facebook posts, after they've seen my videos, they're still shocked that it's me. And but once they realize that it's a welcoming, safe space, then they're like more inclined to go ahead and relax and enjoy the class.
Yeah, and God just reminded me this weekend, which again, this is evergreen, I will be the first time that I will teach people of color. I'll be in that opportunity. So I'm like, God's
I
like, it's
love
opening up. He just like
it
reminded
is
me of that.
opening. It
But
is opening up, and people want to learn, and people want to know. And I think it helps people to know, like, how is yoga a practical tool? Like, it helps you, like to lower your blood pressure, and it helps you to lower anxiety, and it helps with your digestion, and it helps you to eliminate arthritis and pains you may feel in your body. So I think when people understand like how it is a tool for their wellness, and they are more inclined to adopt it.
there's so many different forms of yoga too. And like I said earlier, we could probably go on and on about this. But Everyone Moves is a great way for you to learn. She's going to be sharing more on social and any other ways that she creates content on the benefits of yoga, why you should practice yoga. That's why she's a woman worth knowing. So definitely follow her at Everyone Moves, and I'll have that in the link down below so that you can easily click there and find her easily. And I'm just so grateful that you had time to talk to me and share all of your brilliance and amazingness. And just blessed to have you here. So thank you, T.
Thank you for having me, Dee.
All right, sisters, be blessed and take care.